Howdy ho, you handsome hunk. Grab a snack and gain some chunk. If your day is great or really sunk, we hope to help you shake the funk. So if you're good to hear some junk, buckle up, it's the Junk Monk Podcast. Hello and welcome to the Junk Monk Podcast. I'm your host Kandyce Sloan, who you know from Instagram at Hardens and Hardhats.
And I'm Noah, to co-host, who is bilingual.
If this is your first time listening, let us fill you in. We are watching and reviewing every episode of the USA hit TV show Monk right here each week.
And we're going to do this while eating a little bit of junk. So, me and Kandyce have our junk food here.
We did good, I think.
I think this is a
Are we going to do it now, or are we going to do it in junk time?
Well, I'm really hungry.
I am too. So let's tell the people what we got.
We do it now. We got... Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
Well, they can't see you. You got to say it. Are you?
And that's what we got. We have a hot dog, but it's... What is it called? A coney?
It is a foot-long chili cheese coney. They did give us a fork. And they split it in half. Look, there's two buns. That is not how it's supposed to be.
Whoa.
They gave us two forks, too. How'd they know we were going to share this? This is super weird.
Yeah, what the crap?
You've gotten one of these before, right? Or
no.
Oh, almost.
I've had a real one before
murdered the
from
hot dog.
New York, but I haven't had a Sonic one.
Oh, don't talk about my junk time questions, Noah. Golly. Okay, let's try. This is from Sonic. I also have some root beer.
Oh, that's satisfying. We stopped by themselves.
All right. That was pretty good. Also, you must know I've seen every episode of Monk. I'm a huge fan, started watching in 2007, and for the most part watched it as it aired.
I've seen seasons 1 and 2, and those we've done on the show, and a few scattered here and there in different seasons.
So, if you're ready to start the show, Toby, take it away. Here's what happened.
This is Mr. Monk Fights City Hall, Season 7, Episode 16. Here's what happened. In the opening scene, we see a construction crew ready to demolish a parking garage in order to make way for a new park. We then see Mr. Monk has changed himself up inside, as it is the garage that Trudy had died in. His protests are quickly acknowledged and even work when a councilwoman, Eileen Hill, sympathizes with Monk and suggests that another vote be taken on the demolition. However, before a revote can take place, Eileen comes up missing. Monk, desperate to secure her vote, takes it upon himself to solve her disappearance. The investigation starts with the last person to see her alive, Paul Crawford, a journalist who had an appointment with her that morning. He diverts the blame to the disgruntled hot dog czar, but when that comes up empty, Eileen's terribly inept pregnant assistant, Maria, suggests they search her secret apartment. There, Monk and Natalie find a pregnancy test and the plot thickens. We then see Eileen's body washed up at the same pier where a German couple had been murdered only days prior. We also learned that Eileen wasn't pregnant after all. Not even close. As for the council meeting, Monk gets to use Eileen's personal diary to secure a vote in his favor. While celebrating his victory, he notices the journalist Paul Crawford is wearing the same brand of necktie used to strangle Eileen. Monk puts it all together. Eileen was Paul's mistress, and she had tricked him into thinking she was pregnant so he would leave his wife. The biggest evidence of this was the idiot assistant, Maria. Eileen had needed a home pregnancy test to convince Paul, so she hired Maria for her pee. The plan backfired when instead, Paul panicked, killed Eileen, and while doing so, killed the German couple that spotted him as well. Of course, Monk solves the case but does not win the final vote. The Trudy Monk Memorial Park is underway.
All right. That was Mr. Monk Fights City Hall.
Whew. Kandyce, what did you like about this episode?
Okay, the very first scene, the whole scene was actually really good. You see Monk is chained up, so you're like, oh no, like this is where Trudy died. And then they're like, hey, what the heck is going on here? And I guess, I don't remember what the order is, but I guess Natalie shows up at some point, and Monk is like, hell no, we won't go. Natalie, come on, hell no, Natalie, you have to say we or else it doesn't make any sense. I love that. It was funny. But yeah, the whole first scene, you're probably going to say this, but the councilwoman, councilwoman? Yeah. Do you want to say it?
I thought she was a nice City Hall lady, and she understands what Monk was going through, and lets the council have a revote.
Yeah. She was super nice. I thought she was boss, like totally. Yeah. She was like, "Excuse me, gentlemen. Yeah. I'm talking to this man here, and I think we need a revote." I thought she was really nice. Yeah. And then she said, it's not like a final vote. We can have like a confirmation vote or something. And Monk's like, yeah, it's called a confirmation vote, guys. Come on. It's really funny. But yeah, the whole first scene was really good. My next like is, you thought the councilwoman was evil.
I totally thought she was evil.
You totally did.
I was...
You were like,
she was too nice.
You were like, oh, she's so nice. Oh my gosh, she's super nice. And I was like, yeah, she is nice. And I wrote down like, oh, I like the councilwoman. And Noah's like, yep, she's evil. She did it. And I was like, oh, it was close to being intuitive, but not quite intuitive.
My first like is, I didn't initially take notes. I like episodes that make me put down my phone and not take notes because I want to focus. And it's a fun episode. Mm-hmm. I really liked it. It was a great plot. And, even better than a great plot, great execution. Sometimes it's like, oh my god, Mr. Monk goes to space, but it's like super lame. And it's bad execution.
Like what about this? What do you mean like, what idea are you talking about?
The idea of Monk having to save the garage and like at the end when, Trudy Monk Memorial, and then it all ties it up very well.
Yeah. I see that, yeah. Mm-hmm. I have Harold Action.
Yes.
He wants to know who Adrian's new therapist is because the last time we saw him, he had the hypnotherapist that he recommended to Monk. Obviously, it screwed both of them up. And so now he's like, Adrian, I need to know this new therapist you're always bragging about. What's his name? And he's like, I'm not telling you. And he's like, oh, I don't even know how it comes up, but, Monk just says like, okay, I'll tell you. And he's like, it's Dr. Door. And he's like, oh, so because you were looking at the door, his name is Dr. Door. I suppose if you were standing over there by that alarm, you would have said Dr. Bell. And Natalie's like, and does a spit take. Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. I think that's our first Harold Action we see.
My next like is the assistant being stupid. Yep. I liked it because it was just so relatable.
How was that relatable?
It was not the fact that she was stupid.
I could see how it was relatable to you, but
shut up. The fact that I can relate so hard to Monk because I just genuinely hate talking to stupid people. People just that don't understand anything. Oh my god.
I didn't write down anything she said. It was like that scene was so long. Like they're just like, we want to talk to her. Oh, she's not here. I don't even remember. But it was the worst. It was grueling, like, watching how stupid she was. Because Monk and Natalie are just like, okay, so are you going to help us? And then there's like, I remember she says something like, thank God it's Friday or something. And Natalie's like, it's not Friday. And then she you see on her calendar, like on her computer, it says Monday. Like on the top of the thing. So it was like one of those jokes you had to look for. Mm-hmm. But I was like, her thing totally says Monday. It was funny. She says somebody has a scar on their face or something. You have a scar on your face too. And so do you. And they're like, oh, yeah. You have a scratch on your glasses. And she's like, Like she just doesn't think I know you said it was relatable, but man, she was frustrating.
I mean, I know people like that.
Yeah.
My freaking...
Don't say. Someone you know was like that.
There's this teacher.
Oh,
and she's a sub.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. It definitely was a like because all I put was, man, she was dumb. I didn't even write anything else about her. She was so excruciatingly dumb that it was like, I can't even write all this down. There was so many, pauses of just, sitting there are you kidding me, lady? Yeah. And then the frustrating thing is, she didn't think she was dumb or understand that she was dumb, so she was rude. Because there's people who are dumb, and you're like, I mean, they're pretty dumb, but they're cute, or they're but they're so friendly.
Yeah.
And I can't think of another character on Monk like that, because Kevin's not dumb, right? I wouldn't consider Kevin dumb.
Randy.
That's true. There you go. I guess Randy. That makes sense. But yeah, she was just mean. She was mean dumb. So you're like, you don't even understand how stupid you are, and I can't treat you like you're stupid because you don't get it, and then you're rude to me. It's just, no. That's tough to watch. Mm-hmm. But I have the hot dog czar.
Ugh.
That was so gross.
It was so gross.
But I loved all the ways that they were gross. So they walk up, they open the doors. Randy and Stottlemyre open the doors, which I thought was cool. They had him, like, pull the metal doors away. So it's, like, exposed the hot dog czar. And then they see this guy bending down and picking up all these hot dogs that are, on the ground. Yeah, and they're all in, like, the steamed juices. And it's all on the floor. And Stottlemyre, like, pushes it over with his foot. And he's like, missed a couple. And the guy's like, oh, thanks. And puts him in the bucket. And then there's, like, people walking around, like... And then there's, like, some guy smoking. And he's like, what do you want me to do with these? And then the hot dog czar, like, checks the bag. And he's like, oh, God. These are still good. And then they're, like, talking about how Eileen Hill is, like, trying to get them to do, like, safety regulations. And the guy's like, yeah, she wants us to wear gloves and put lids on the condiments. And she wants us to change the water every other day. And Natalie's like, what's wrong with that? And the hot dogs are like, these hot dogs are like a fine wine. They gotta simmer. So gross. Oh my gosh, it was so gross. But I liked it. I thought it was a funny scene.
Okay, I'll agree with that.
I just liked the cleverness of all the different ways that they made it. Just like, you don't want to see how the sausage gets made. And I love also that we ate a hot dog. It's funny.
It's gross, but funny. Okay, the last letters that Trudy saw.
Oh.
It was like...
That was super sad. You liked that?
It was a very touching moment. I enjoyed it very much.
That was sad. I mean, I guess I could see how you like the insight of it, but that was, like, super sad. It's like, which, I don't even know if I wrote a plot hole. I have a plot hole about that, but, oh my gosh, Monk flirting. Did you write Monk flirting?
Oh, with the stupid lady.
Yes, with Maria.
Oh, I did not write that.
So I'm trying to think. I didn't go back and watch it. I was dying laughing though. So he was like, he realizes that he can get a vote by proxy from Eileen Hill's assistant. Mm. The adult lady, she is filling in for that assistant, right? So he realizes, okay, this assistant is never coming back. So now I got to figure out how to get this adult to do the vote for me.
Yeah.
So he's like, idea moment. And then he has the flowers in his hand. And then he does I called it the Hal kick. You know, Hal Duncan from the theater. Where he's like, hey, cuz, did you miss me? And then he shuts the door behind him with his foot. That's what Monk does. He shuts the door behind him with his foot. And he, like, misses. And then he, like, does it again until it closes. And then he has the flowers in his hand. And he's like, Maria. And he, like, walks up to her. And then he shoves all the stuff off the desk, like, to the side. And then it's really funny. Are you looking it up? Or...
She was gross.
Okay, neither of us remember the flirt scene, so we're going to pull it up.
It's Maria, isn't it?
Why were you asking about Janet?
I just want to make sure she wasn't here. So I didn't want her to get jealous.
He's
Are
winking.
you interested in politics?
He keeps winking over and over.
Fascinating. I like the way you think.
So cringy.
Are you busy for lunch? Or are you modeling for a job? Or...
I'm married.
Yeah, no, I know. Strictly business.
That is really good. That's, again, another really long scene with this dumb lady. It's a slow burn. It is a very slow burn. It's funny. Okay, how many more likes do you have?
I have one more.
Okay.
I can dig up one more after that.
Okay. Do you have Randy at the pier?
No.
Okay. So, the poor German couple is dead on the ground at the pier. And Randy walks up and he's like, oh yeah, I just talked to the hotel manager. He said they checked in last night. They were a pretty quiet couple. And Stottlemyre says, they seem pretty quiet to me.
Oh my God.
And then Randy's like, well, no, they weren't this quiet. I mean, like, before tonight, they were just like a regular quiet couple. And Stottlemyre's like, Randy, I was trying to be wry. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, my bad. Do you want me to say it again? Again, where you have this moment where he's just acting like, we're all in this play. Like, oh, do you want me to, like, redo it? Do you want me to say it again? It is so funny. He's like, well, I mean, they weren't this quiet. Jeez.
What looks like is the other apartment, the love nest.
Oh, the love nest. Oh my gosh. I didn't even get it. I rewatched a little bit of it today, and he was like, there's a cheerleading outfit and a something outfit, and he's like, wait a minute. I don't think this is a regular apartment.
Nata's like, you think?
I felt like such a Mr. Monk right there, though. I was like, I didn't catch it either. You think? I was like, oh yeah, I felt dumb.
Never, ever, 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 ever look at that drawer.
Ever. Ever, 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 ever. What if there's a clue? What if it could solve the case? I don't care. You don't open the drawer. Okay, I won't. Jeez, God. Okay, my last one is, it's a doozy. Harold's Sacred Prayer. It's like, he's like, all right, let's begin the city council meeting with a prayer. Dear God, please let them catch this crazed killer that's on the loose. Or, if they don't catch him, let us pray that Eileen's murder was the work of a random nutjob and not some kind of masked vigilante who for some reason has a personal vendetta against the city council and is determined to slaughter us, picking us off when we least expect it, using a different yet somehow appropriate method for each of his grisly killings. Amen. Oh my gosh, that is too much. Oh man, that was amazing. And it was even longer than that. I kind of sped up the tempo a little bit, but he was like, oh man. So it was so funny. It was good.
Do you have another one?
I'm done.
I'm done too.
Oh, you are? Oh, okay.
What did you dislike about this episode?
Okay, Natalie, so rude at the beginning. When Monk does a really good job of saving the parking garage, and Eileen Hill is like, we'll take a revote. He's like, yes, Natalie, we did it. And she's like, yeah, you just stopped a park being built to save a parking garage. Awesome. I'm like, well, yeah, it's important to him. Like, yeah. I did not like that little snide comment at all.
I agree. It was just rude, because she knows how much it means to him.
Yeah.
That was messed up. That was a messed up thing.
And then at the end, she wasn't proud of him for winning the vote either. Mm-hmm. When he actually, won the vote, she wasn't proud of him at all. He was super happy, and she was just like, yay. Yeah.
Natalie her character just, she's supposed to be the voice of reason, right? But sometimes she isn't, so it just makes her character, pretty inconsistent.
Yes. That's a very good point, I think. She's supposed to be, what makes sense, but you also have to realize that the audience is rooting for Monk.
Yeah.
So, like you said, inconsistent in the sense of, Natalie's supposed to be a kind, caring person who's more gentle with Mr. Monk.
Yeah.
Yet when she makes comments like that, they're not helpful comments. Mm-hmm. They sound like rude comments.
Yeah, because she's on his side, and then she's not, and then she is, and it's your whole... It's a two-way street, Mr. Monk. Oh, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a two-way street, Mr. Monk, and then it isn't for some reason. And then it is. And then it isn't.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm. So, in your likes, you put the hot dogs are. Yeah. And I put that in my dislikes.
Okay.
Because it was disgusting and gross. And we just ate a hot dog, and I don't want to think about it.
Well, my next one was actually part of the hot dog scene, which was Randy. They were implying that he was eating a hot dog made out of the councilwoman.
Oh.
Remember?
Oh my.
Yeah. Because the hot dog czar is like, well, if I did kill her, you'd never be able to find her body. Or so. And I was like, pretty much what he said. I'm saying it loosely, but that's pretty much what he said.
That's
and they're like,
what he said.
Oh, God. And then Randy's like, what are you thinking about by that? I'm like, Randy, think about it. And then spell it out for him. They should have just ended the scene there. And they just kept going. Yeah. And he's like, I don't get it. Oh my gosh. And there's implying he's eating a hot dog made out of a person.
Yeah.
I was like, that's disgusting. I wrote that on the dislikes immediately. That was gross. Okay, this was, I think I might have this maybe in a plot holy part 2, but Monk could have just told Harold who his doctor was and he could have gotten another vote. Like, I didn't like that. Like, Monk was literally, like, this meant so much to him that he was, like, willing to hunt this woman down and find her to convince her to change the vote when all he could have done is, like, tell Harold, oh, his name's Dr. Wait, vote, and then I will tell you who it is. Is that, like, extortion or something?
Yeah, something like that.
That sounds illegal now that I'm saying it out loud.
Yes. Yeah, very.
Okay. Yeah, it's illegal. Okay. Next dislike.
Okay, my next dislike is... How did I not notice the fact the assistant, the stupid one, being pregnant is not super weird? When do you ever see pregnant people on TV? Like, because you notice it and you're like,
oh, you know what?
That's odd. But you're not, like, thinking about it.
No,
you know?
there was a pregnant thing, and you can remind me if I'm wrong, that this didn't have anything to do with the plot, was that in Mr. Monk Goes to the Bank, remember the lady is pregnant in the bank, and Stottlemeyer's, like, interviewing her. Remember, after the bank robbery or whatever, he's interviewing her, and he's like, oh, have you picked out a name? And she's like, no, not yet. What's your name?
Oh,
and
it's for
like,
the joke.
Leland.
Yeah.
But do you think that was for the joke, or you think she was just pregnant just to, like, add diversity to all the bank employees? Like, one of them was pregnant.
She was just pregnant.
But right, like that was a time where there was somebody pregnant that it didn't necessarily have anything to do with the plot. They made a joke out of it, but it didn't have anything to do with the plot. So I don't think that it's bad that you didn't think the pregnant lady, like, had something to do with it being her being pregnant. I don't think that was a bad thing. But I also put as a dislike, as funny as it was very, very funny. But Monk just completely ripping in to Maria when he...
Oh my god, that was a dislike?
Yeah, because he manipulated her into getting a vote, and she was, like, on his side. She read the journal. She raised her hand. Like, she was an idiot, but he manipulated her into, like, he took her to lunch, got her a hot dog. She told him about the secret apartment. She, like, helped him find Eileen, helped him get the clues, helped him get the vote, and then at the end he just rips into her. Again, it was really funny. Like, he's like, Eileen Hill was educated, sophisticated. She was an adult. This woman is adult. Adult? And so, like, again, it was super funny, and Natalie's like, Mr. Monk, she's standing right there. She's right there. And he's like, what? She knows she's an idiot. Have you ever trying to have a conversation with her? It is excruciating. Like, he said really mean stuff to her. And again, it was really funny, but he also, like, she wasn't only stupid and rude, she also did help him. Yeah. And so I thought, like, she should have been off the hook for that, but he could have, like, said that, like, behind her back, and it would have been funny. Yeah. Like, it would have been funnier, I think.
But then we wouldn't have that classic resolution at the end.
Where Monk doesn't get his way.
And... I mean, I was talking about in a good way. I wasn't trying to roast anything. Yeah. But you're right. Monk doesn't get his way. But also, the Trudy Memorial Park.
Oh. Okay, what's your other dislike?
Okay,
I think this is our opposites. I think last week we had everything exact same likes, and now we have opposites. I like this. I didn't like this. I like this. I don't like this.
So we see the German tourists are dead in the pier, and I already told you about this earlier, but it reminded me of how San Francisco... It's really nice, and we never get to see it. Mm-hmm. And it makes me sad. That's all I had to say about that.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, and I was thinking of, there is the episode, Mr. Monk and the Birds and the Bees, remember where the boyfriend jumps into the water? Mm-hmm. Like, off the pier? Yeah. And then there's also Mr. Monk and the Fashion Show, where they're by the beach. Remember, they go to the beach, the photos? And then they do the pose. And like, this is how I stand. This is how I dress. This is how I stand. This is how I dress. So there are a few times where we get to see the water that, I mean, I could be totally wrong because I don't know anything about California, really. But I feel like LA is pretty landlocked. So they had to have gone, like, to a pier, you know? Like, they go to piers. I just wonder where they go.
Yeah. Because, you know, San Francisco, oh my gosh, beautiful. I just wish... I know it's way more probably expensive to do it actually in San Francisco, but I just think it's kind of sad because it's a great place.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I have two more, and my second to last one is why I pushed you along, because I put Stupid Park. What the heck? Those kids aren't going to appreciate a stupid park. Monk actually appreciates the parking garage. And the adults need the parking garage to park their car. Who cares about the kids? They go to any old park, okay? They can find another park. I'm sorry, I said it. Controversial statement. Kids and parks, who cares? Not this kid. Noah is a kid, so he's like dying inside. He wants a park for himself. Like, they couldn't have picked another parking garage where someone didn't die and there wasn't an open murder investigation. For real, like, there was no other parking garage that didn't have a murder.
I was just thinking about it, and I get where you're coming from, except I don't, and you're stupid, and you shouldn't get a voice on this. So just cut this part out.
Okay. My last one is this is a soapboxy one. It's tiny. Don't worry, it's tiny soapbox. Girls lying about being pregnant. What the heck, people? Okay.
Why is that a soapbox?
The extreme is you dying, because obviously that's what happened to Eileen Hill. She lied to her boyfriend about being pregnant, and he was like, "Oh crap, I have a wife," and so he killed her. And she wasn't even pregnant. So, like, don't lie about being pregnant. That's rude.
Okay,
you
yeah,
can't
what was
trap
the plan there?
people into being in a relationship by lying and saying that they're pregnant. People do that. I know they do that. They literally lie to trap someone in a relationship, and then they're like, "Oh well, now all I have to do is get pregnant," and they'll never know. Isn't that messed up? That's literally what she was planning on doing.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, what the frick is the plan then?
Yeah, because you're not going to have a baby. There's people that literally do that, and then, like, the baby never shows up. I watched a murder show a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about that. Like the couple, they were like, well, we ended up getting married because she said she was pregnant, and then the baby never came. Well, it turned out she was, like, a psychopath, and she ended up, like, murdering him. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So, yeah.
What is wrong with people?
That turned into another soapbox.
I enjoyed
Don't murder,
that soapbox.
But don't lie about being pregnant. That just kind of shows you're a little sketch of a person.
Up.
Okay, let's just move on to our next segment. Okay.
Oh my god. Wait, no, I have one more.
What the heck? Why did you stop me from talking?
I have two more, actually.
This is derailed. Go ahead.
Okay. I hated the dude who married the billionaire wife. That's a messed up thing to do. This is my soapbox time. Gold digging.
Wait, explain. I don't remember.
The guy, remember, I think he was talking about his car or something, but he was like, he mentioned that he married a billionaire's daughter, and that's why he's rich.
Oh, the journalist.
The journalist,
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
And he's like, they're like, how'd you get all this money or something? I forget how it came up. But he was like, I married a billionaire's daughter. And I was like, that's super messed up. That was my soapbox. That's how you do a soapbox. You don't drag it on.
Do you know what a soapbox is? That's literally what the soapbox is.
But it was a mini soapbox. You said it was a mini soapbox, so don't lie to everyone.
All right, soapbox number 2. Lying about being on a soapbox.
Soapbox number 3.
For a short amount of time.
Lying about being on a soapbox about being on a...
Okay, all right, next segment.
No.
Son of
I have another one, Candace.
Son of a SOB. What is it?
Son of a SO...
You know what? B.
Okay, if season 8 does not start with Monk in the Trudy Park, I'm gonna be mad.
What? Why? That's so random.
If they don't make any callbacks to it, then I'll be mad.
What do you need a callback for? You want a murder to happen in the Trudy Monk Park too?
No, I'm just like him, like on a bench, and he's retired. This is my perfect ideal thing for season 8.
Oh.
He's retired, but they need him back on the squad. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. That's the Brooklyn Nine-Nine thing. Wait.
Sounded like Mario Brothers.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. It's jungle out there. And it's a whole new, different revamped thing. It's just Monk, except he's old.
Wait, this is for like a reboot, or this is for season 8?
This is for season 8. But that could also work for as a reboot. But it starts off as him enjoying the Trudy Monk Park. I just think it needs to be included. This is a soapbox now.
And you said it was going to be short.
Soapception.
We're inside multiple soapboxes. What's happening? Oh my gosh. Okay.
This entire podcast is just a soapbox.
What was in those hot dogs? Okay, now are we done?
Yes, kid. Now we're done.
Okay.
He's the guy. Kandyce, I have someone.
You do? Okay, go ahead. Oh, wait. Actually, I know who you have. So let me go because I have 3. Okay. Real quick. John Polito. He played the hot dog czar. He was in My Wife and Kids, Gilmore Girls, The Drew Carey Show. I recognize him, though, from Medium. He plays... You know what Medium is, where she sees dead people? I recognized him immediately. I was like, he was one of the dead people on Medium. Because he, because the Medium dreams about dead people. And then she helps solve crimes.
That's cool.
And she's also based on a real life person. Like, her name's Alison Dubois, and there's a real life person named Alison Dubois who lives, like, in Arizona. It's, like, the same. It's pretty interesting, yeah. Like, she works with the police and stuff. So, anyway.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, so at the beginning of the episode, this guy doesn't realize that he's dead. Because she's dreaming about him, and he's talking to another dead guy. And he's, like, running around saying, like, my wife tried to kill me. My wife tried to kill me. I said she was ugly, and she started to hit me on the head with a frying pan. And then... next thing I know, I'm up here, like, running around, and the guy's like, oh, so that's why you can see me. She killed you. You're actually dead. I'm dead, too. And he's like, what the heck? And so they, like, help each other throughout the episode. Like, realize they're dead. And then Allison is solving their murders. Like, both of their murders, so. I recognized him from Medium.
And how does she have to solve it if they could just be like, yo, she killed us?
Yeah, it's kind of complicated, but I get what you're saying. Like, it's like, because the dreams are very, like, literal to her, and so she'll make, like, accusations like, he said that she did it or something, and then it's like, no, it was like a metaphor type thing. It gets kind of complicated. I mean, it's a really good show. It's not that complicated when you're watching. It's more complicated to explain, like, her dreams seem very literal, so, like, it'll be like, be there at 10 o'clock and watch, and she's like, nothing happened. Well, 10 o'clock was a metaphor, 10 actually meant this, so not everything is, like, exactly as she sees it. It's not that simple. So she doesn't just magically, like, have all the answers. It's dead people are trying to talk to her through, you know, signals and signs and stuff. So, but I get what you're saying, yeah, because sometimes it's just like, this doesn't make any sense. Why don't the dead people just tell her exactly what happened? But yeah. It doesn't really work that way, apparently.
That's so weird.
Yeah. So my next person is E.J. Callahan, and he played Al, the hot dog guy who's like, she wants us to use lids and gloves, the old guy. He's from an episode of The Grinder, New Girl, Middle, Gilmore Girls, Good Luck Charlie, Phil the Future, Malcolm in the Middle, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Drew Carey, and Friends. He's on the one where Estelle dies, and he's on another one. It is the one with the ballroom dancing, which we talked about a few weeks ago, where Mr. Traeger, remember, he's the trash man in Mr. Monk on Wheels. That's the episode where Joey teaches him how to ballroom dance. And so it's called The One with the Ballroom Dancing. So that's the episode that he's on, but also that E.J. Callahan is on too. I thought that was a weird coincidence. So,
that is.
Weird. All right, who's the person you have?
I have, drum roll please, Callie Rocher. I don't know how to say her name, but that's my guess. Callie Rocher. Okay. I recognized her from Liv and Maddie, and then I was like, wait a minute, the mom from Liv and Maddie, because she's the mom from Liv and Maddie. I was like, wait a minute, the mom from Liv and Maddie is in Man with the Plan, and me and Kandyce watched that together. So I didn't actually recognize her from Man with the Plan. I was like, she's in this. She's in that.
Yeah, and I was sitting here watching it, just minding my own beeswax, and Noah's like, do you recognize her? And I'm like, I don't think so. And you're like, she's from Man with the Plan. And I was like, who? Who the heck is she in the Man with the Plan? And you're like, oh, she's Kevin Nealon's wife. And Kevin Nealon, of course, who's been on Monk too, on Mr. Monk Goes to the Asylum.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So her husband's been on here too. Weird, right?
Oh, my God.
Yep. Full circle moments. Okay, are you ready for another full circle moment? Okay, this one's weird. Okay, I hope you think this is as weird as... You're probably not going to think it's as weird as I do, or cool or anything, but so just play along like you'd think it is, okay? All right, so Tamlin Tomita, okay? She plays the councilwoman, and I was like, I feel like I recognize her, so I looked her up, okay? She was in 5 episodes of 24, which we've discussed. She's in Cobra Kai. Have you seen Cobra Kai?
Yes.
Okay.
What is she in? Like, how?
She's in 4 episodes of Cobra Kai. She plays Kamiko.
Probably season 4 or season 3. I don't know. I stopped watching in season 2.
Oh, okay. So she's in that, so maybe people recognize her from that. How to Get Away with Murder, Glee, and then, get this, okay. Wait for this. Okay. remember
Yep.
last week we had Steve Valentine, who plays the magician.
Yes, I do remember that.
Okay, and I told the story how I recognized him from Will and Grace. It's a silly little episode where Will and they have
The young friends.
they're friends, right? Okay, and he's like, wait, why can't you get the cab? And because your girl's going to the bathroom. And he's like, come on, man, I gotta go with her. And I was like, I just remember that joke. It's funny. Okay, his girlfriend is her. Is that not super weird? That is really weird. Like, I know that it's like not, if you don't watch Will and Grace or you don't care about it, it's like kind of like, oh, sure, whatever. But it's like, literally last week, I was talking about this very specific episode. I almost debated not even telling that story because it was such a small part, but I always thought it was funny. And then I looked it up and she was on the same episode. And I was like, she's on the same episode? And then I realized it's her. They're boyfriend and girlfriend in that episode. That whole story that I told, that's her. Is that not super weird?
No way. That is so funny.
That's so random. So random. Like, I don't know.
That is such a full circle moment. I'm so proud of that.
Yeah.
That was good.
Crazy weird. Okay. All right. I'm glad that, I don't know if you're acting, but we'll just
No,
act
that
like that
was
was
cool.
good. Okay, cool. All right.
Junk time. Welcome back to my favorite one here in the show where we eat junk and I eat junk.
And questions.
Boop up.
I eat questions. Okay, so we demolished our hot dogs. Or our hot dog.
Remember whenever we were like, and the junk we have today is this. Well, we stopped recording and absolutely devoured it.
Well, I say it was good. It was okay. I could have used more chili and cheese, personally.
I
But
agree.
you also got the good side.
I did get this good side.
And I was like, I agree. He got more than I did.
This is the first time we haven't actually eaten anything for junk time.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna
break the
full.
streak.
I'm so full from hot dogs.
Here, we'll eat a little bit of napkin.
Oh my gosh, you're like hitting all my questions. Okay. For one, do you like hot dogs?
Okay, I just licked a little bit of. It was gross. A little bit of chili. Okay.
Do you like hot dogs?
I do. Who doesn't?
Okay. There are people that don't. There are literally people who, like, the epitome of what that episode was about hot dogs, that's how they feel about hot dogs. Like, they're like, hot dogs are disgusting.
No, I do know
you
that.
don't want to know.
You don't
like,
know what's in there.
Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's some type of animal, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down then. Okay. You said vegans, too. There's veggie dogs.
Nope, never had it.
Okay, so apparently last week, again, another little coincidence, but last week, my dad was telling a story about how he apparently went to the refrigerator and he ate some hot dogs that were in the fridge. And then so he calls your mom and he's like, oh my gosh, throw away these hot dogs. They're so bad. Like, they're rotten. They're disgusting. Like, don't feed the kids these hot dogs. And she was like, those were veggie dogs.
Those were mine.
Those were your veggie dogs?
I'm embarrassed to say I don't.
What happened? Tell the people. What happened?
I wanted to taste them. I got them from the store and I was like, well, I mean, they're passing them off as hot dogs. I could see why he thought they were bad, but they were. If you knew they were veggies, they weren't bad.
Oh, okay.
But if you didn't,
you'd be like, these hot dogs are off.
These hot dogs are disgusting. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But they weren't actually disgusting.
They weren't that bad.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
were pretty good.
Were you going for like an Impossible Whopper type feel?
Yeah,
Because you
that's
like.
so funny. I had an Impossible Whopper yesterday night.
Golly.
I'm such a vegan. I can't believe I said I hate vegans. I'm so embarrassed.
And then I'm like calling you out for your own veggie dogs. Okay. How do you like your hot dog?
I just like ketchup and mustard. I tried to ask for sauerkraut because she ate sauerkraut,
on the show, yeah.
but I don't even know what that is.
It's like, I think it's soured cabbage. I was surprised when you asked for sauerkraut. I was like,
Ew.
They don't have that at Sonic. This isn't like New York. I personally also like a bunch of ketchup and one strip of mustard. But if everyone's having chili dogs, I'll feel left out. If I don't eat the chili dogs, I'll feel left out. But I like the taste of the ketchup and mustard better. So what I actually do is I'll get like one hot dog with chili and cheese and the other one like ketchup and mustard. And then if I'm like full, I can't eat 2 full more hot dogs. I get a third hot dog and then do literally half on one side and half on the other. It's very glorious. I love it.
That was weird. That was a very weird explanation.
Well, that's usually because I can usually eat 3 hot dogs. 4 is a lot. So I just had to explain to the people.
Just ask me the New York question.
Okay. Well, I was just gonna ask you in general, like, have you eaten a New York hot dog? Like, gone to New York?
Yes.
And also, I was asking because, like, there's certain places, like, up north and stuff, or, like, Chicago, that if you ask for ketchup on your hot dog, they're like, what? Like, they don't eat them. You know how you go to Sonic and they have, like, a Chicago dog, or they have, like, a New York,
and
whatever. It's because, and it's different stuff. They have random stuff on theirs because we don't eat hot dogs like that. So that's what.
Like cherries.
Cherries? Like maraschino cherries? Yes. I don't think so. No, but yeah, so that's where kind of my question was coming from. Like, how do you eat your hot dog? Because, like, when you go to places like New York or Chicago, they eat them differently. So, do you remember eating your hot dog in New York?
No.
You don't?
I don't. But I would like to say, anyone who doesn't like basic condiments like ketchup, mustard, mayo, etc., I don't like you. If someone's
I don't trust those people.
I don't like mustard. It's just so gross. Same with mayo.
Okay, I used to not like mayo. Calm down.
No.
I do feel that way about people that don't like mustard. Well, I
don't trust that. You said that. You just can't. Like,
not like mustard, yeah. Well, ketchup is my thing. I'm obsessed with ketchup. Honey mustard and ketchup. So if you don't like ketchup, to me, that's super weird. If you don't like ketchup.
Really?
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
That's a weird thing not to like. Which is so weird because, like I said, when you go like up north, apparently they don't eat ketchup on their hot dogs.
That's so weird.
Yeah. So I've eaten a hot dog in Central Park because that was like my goal. I'm like, I need to walk around Central Park. I need to find a hot dog vendor and eat a hot dog. So that was fun. And then also I went to Wrigley Stadium in Chicago where the Cubs play.
Oh yeah, I went there.
And got a hot dog there too. Okay, let's see what else. Oh, because you were talking about eating the napkin. What is the grossest thing you've ever eaten? I don't think I've asked this question before.
You probably have.
I get confused because I've told this story a lot because it is absolutely the grossest thing I have ever eaten.
What is it?
I went to this restaurant in Beverly Hills and they had this like super fancy chef, Jose Andres. Sorry if you're listening. There's this nasty thing in like a little soup spoon.
Oh, don't do Jose.
And it was in a soup spoon, like one of those Asian soup spoons, like the big ones.
Just olive oil.
Yes.
I remember that.
It was olive oil, and it was.
Oh my god! I wasn't even thinking. I was like, it was olive oil.
Maybe because I maybe have told it. It was olive oil, and then there was an olive inside the olive oil, and then the olive was filled with more olive oil, and so you were supposed to drink it or like put it in your mouth all at one time, and then you bite down on the olive, and then the olive oil shoots out of your mouth, so it tastes disgusting when you put it in. Then you bite down, and then it gushes out disgusting, and you're like, whoa. I drank an entire glass of water after I ate that because it was so terrible. I could not believe how bad it tasted and how much they were probably charging for that. It was very bad.
I feel like just like eating things like off the floor in general. Like if I just drop like ramen, I'll just eat it off the floor.
Okay, I also put, you are literally touching every single question. I also put, how far will you go? Your drop roll. Like, 5-second roll. Is it like...
It depends.
10-minute roll. Like, drop that on the ground. Or like, what if you see a hair in your food?
I just take it out. I eat it.
Even if it's at a restaurant.
I don't get the big deal.
Even if it's at a restaurant.
I go, this is gross, and then I eat it.
You are my brother. If there was ever any question. What about a bug?
Ew. I found bugs. No, that's true. I'll eat it. If I'm hungry.
Oh wait, I did that before. Yeah, I ate it.
It's the circumstances, kid. If I'm like in class, I'm just chilling and I find like an Oreo on the floor, I'm not gonna eat it. But if it's lunchtime, I'm getting hungry, I have my Oreo, I drop it, I'm eating that.
Yeah. Yeah, I pretty much eat anything that I personally dropped on the floor. Or if someone else drops something really good on the floor and they're like, oh man, and I'm like,
I'll take it.
are you not going to eat that? And they're like, no. And I'm like,
Oh, I hate when people
then
do
I
that.
will.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not going to eat it, I'm going to eat it. Are you
yeah.
crazy? Like you dropped a piece of cheesecake on the floor. I'm going to eat the top off of it. What's wrong with that?
Oh, yesterday on the bus to the place I was at because we were on a field trip, and I had a gummy bear stuck to the bottom of my shoe, and I was like, "What is that?"
Oh.
And then I was like, $20? Someone was like, $20. And then I almost put it in my mouth. They were like, I was joking! What the frick is wrong with you? I was like, well, you said $20.
Yeah, what the heck? You can't say, oh, I take it back. Like, I already put it in my mouth. You will give me $20. Even though it was good. And I would have done it again for no money. You still owe me $20. That is ridiculous. Okay, my last thing is, like, super, super random. Like, very random. I was watching the story about
Ever been pregnant?
a lady. I know, right?
How many children do you have?
Okay, no, seriously. There was a woman who was a surrogate mother, right? You know what a surrogate is? Like for a surrogate for someone. Okay. She was a surrogate mother. The lady, the surrogate, she has twins. And she has the twins for the couple. She gives them to the couple. And then apparently the couple was like, they were different ethnicities than her. But one of the kids was one ethnicity and one of the kids was a different ethnicity. And so they were like, wait a second, how could this one be our kid? And so apparently there's this crazy phenomenon that happens like every one of every like billion pregnancies. I don't know, that's exaggeratory. But like you literally can get pregnant from like while you're pregnant. Like the lady got pregnant with their like egg embryo, whatever, and then also got pregnant by herself at the same time with her husband. And so they had two different babies from two sets of parents at the same time and was growing them at the same time. And
oh my god, that is disgusting.
Is that not the craziest thing? Well, I don't know about disgusting. Okay. But is that not
probably not disgusting.
But is that not crazy?
But imagine being like, oh my god, that's so weird.
Well, what's crazy is they were saying, like, I guess the couple who had, like, the children were, quote, theirs because they had given them the children, they were fighting to have both of the kids.
I would not have.
Yeah. And the couple who had, like, because the couple who, the surrogate couple, I guess I should say, like, the surrogate mom, they already had children. And was like, the mom just did it because she's like, oh, I already have children. I know what a blessing it is. And was like doing it out of the kindness of her heart. She has twins, gives them away. And then they're like, wait, one of those kids was ours. And so they fought and got the kid back.
They got it back?
They got the kid. Yeah, they got the kid back. But it was like, wait. And I could be, I don't want to like throw those people under the bus. They could have been not fighting for it. But they made it seem like they went to court to get the kid back.
Aww.
I was thinking like, everybody was thinking like, what? Why wouldn't you just give their kid back? But I guess it was like, also, that'd be really hard. Like, you thought that you had twins. Your children are a month or two old, and they're growing up together. And you're like, there's a part of your family. And they're like, oh, wait, never mind. You're not ours.
That sucks.
Isn't that, that's crazy, too. Like, that'd be really hard, too. But logic would tell you, like, but also it's not my child, so it's not mine. I don't know. That's rough. But isn't that not the craziest story?
That's crazy. That has nothing, was that the entire...
That was just a story I saw. And I was like, oh, I have to share this, but I don't know what context I can share this in. So the girl was pregnant, and so it related, you know? She could have been carrying
the longest episode we've ever done. Ever.
So yeah, that was super crazy. And junk time is now over. Plot holes!
Plus.
All right.
Plus.
Had to cut that off. All right. Monk, there's no way Monk... Remember he throws the key down the grate at the very beginning?
Yeah.
There's no way he did that. Like, he tossed it, and it was, like, perfectly in the hole. It was very far away, and he threw the key and made it in. That was just the very, like, first scene, so I knew you would have it.
Monk's Game is very good.
The plot hole, I kind of halfway did that plot hole. The plot hole is, he's like, oh, yeah? How are you going to unlock me? I have the key, and he threw it in the grate. He was extremely lucky that he made it into the grate, because if he hadn't, the guy would have just walked over there and grabbed the key and then what, Monk was going to fight him off? Like, that didn't make any sense. He was
his
very
aim was
lucky
good,
to make that work.
But the thing, the actual plot hole is, why the frick would he want to be in there?
Why
would he be okay
Monk?
with tying himself up in chains?
How is that a good plot hole?
Because he's claustrophobic and stuff. That's a crazy good plot hole.
Okay, I get it. That's good.
Thank you.
That's true. Because he threw away the key, too. It's true. Okay, you got me. Go ahead.
Okay. My first plot hole is Natalie and Monk and Harold are talking, and we talked about this already. And he's like, Dr. Door, and then Harold says, "Oh, if you're sitting over there by the alarm, you would say Dr. Bell." And then Natalie does a spit take, right? So, basically, at the end of the episode, he asks Natalie, "What'd you say the therapist's name was?" And she says, Dr. Bell. So then why wouldn't he take it as a joke? Like, oh, it's because, like, as if she said Dr. Door.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. Because if she said Dr. Bell, why would he...
Why would he
Yeah,
be like,
because he goes, "Thank you." Like, because she says Dr. Bell, and he's like, "Thanks." And she's like, "Oh, dang it." Like, yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, Natalie said Dr. Bell, and then for some reason, he took her seriously.
After
like,
he
she
was
wasn't
obviously
making a
joking,
joke. Yeah. That's a good one. I think that's good. I think that's good. Okay.
Thank you.
I put another reference to Monk being buried alive. They just made this reference, too.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember? In the Abracadorfman one. Mm-hmm. Right? Wasn't that the magician one?
And he was like,
He said, "I was buried alive before in a box I don't want to get in the box." That was the last episode.
Yeah.
And then in this episode, they made a reference to him being buried alive again.
When?
I don't remember, but I wrote it down. I'm not going to lie to you people. He did not write it down, but he said it even more explicitly. I was buried alive before, and...
Huh.
I don't even remember what context it would come up in, but anyway. And then also, this is kind of not a plot hole. It's more of like an explanation. So, remember how last time in the playoff episode, you said, well, I didn't like that, Monk didn't let Stottlemyre get to the game. Like, that sucked. But he also had, like, a higher calling. Like, his duty was to solve the murder. So, like, as much as it was annoying he didn't let Stottlemyre go, he was being, like, for the greater good, he was solving that case. Like, he could, you know what I mean? Like, the murder, he couldn't go inside because he had to solve this case. Now, on the other hand, he's here at the pier, and he didn't care about the German couple that was on the ground, dead. He just wanted to get to his meeting for City Hall. So I was thinking, like, man, that's pretty, like, double standard of him. Like, when something was important to Stottlemyre to get to the game, he wanted to solve the murder. But now there's a murder to be solved, and something was important to him, so he left and went to the meeting. It was just, it's not, like, a great plot hole or anything. It's just, I noticed that kind of inconsistency of, like, oh, so if it's important to Monk, he'll go.
Yeah.
But we know this about Monk.
He's not very...
He's selfish.
Yeah, he's a selfish guy, and he doesn't really understand social things. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
That's good, though.
Okay.
It's a good little thing to pick up on. I liked it.
Okay.
You can go again, actually.
Okay, how would Monk even allow himself, when he's flirting with Maria, he, like, pushes all the stuff off the desk? How would he would not have allowed himself to push that stuff over. There's no way. If he did, he would immediately have picked it all up.
That would have been funny, actually.
Do you remember the theater episode? Whenever the director is like, okay, now you just throw over the table.
And he just doesn't.
And he's like, he can't pick up the table. And then he's like, I thought maybe my character could, put away groceries, like, roughly. What? No. It's funny. So that I thought of that. Like, there's no way he would have just pushed that stuff over. No. But you're right. That could be character evolving, like, he's being more playful now. But I still think, when I first saw it, I was like, whoa, no. He would not throw that stuff on the ground. There's no way.
Yeah. Okay, my next plot hole is the guy, what's his name? Journalist.
Paul Crawford.
Paul Crawford murders Eileen Hill in cold blood in front of a couple. Are you kidding me? You strangle a woman in cold blood and don't check if there's people taking pictures?
Well, did he strangle her there, or did he throw her body over there? I don't know if he killed her
matters.
there. No, that's true. I was just wondering. Well, I mean, throwing a body over is like, oh, it's not as loud as like, somebody dying. But yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah.
Still. And couldn't you just like throw it in a dumpster or something?
Well, yeah, but people find bodies in dumpsters. And people, in theory, if it washes away into the ocean, then you'll never see it again. But
it's terrifying. I
think what happened was, I think he killed her probably at their love nest. And then he threw her over. When he was going, the German couple probably came up behind him and they were taking pictures because they were tourists. And so he was like, oh crap, turned around and killed them. I think that's probably what happened. I have a weak one too about him, and is that, why would you kill her with your fancy tie
and then
leave it on her?
This is a one-of-a-kind tie.
Well, see, and that's why I think it's weak, because it's not one of a kind, but it is that particular brand.
It's a very premium brand.
And why would you...
It's like Gucci. It's like, okay, only like 20 people could have Gucci in this town. So like...
Yeah. And then like, again, you're always wearing that brand of tie. You're also literally tied like to this crime, because the police already think that you're the last person that saw her alive. So you're gonna like leave her, you know what I mean? It wasn't a random killing. Everyone knows you were gonna be the last person to see her alive.
Yeah, you go.
So leave the tie to her.
We have 6 suspects? Okay. What tie you wearing?
Yeah.
What tie you wearing? Okay, that's the guy.
Exactly. There you go. Thank you. Okay.
He couldn't have literally just been like, untie it from her neck, throw it separately, throw her separately.
Yeah.
Okay, that might just be bad writing.
Yeah. Well, because I was thinking too, I was like, well, you also wouldn't want like her DNA on your tie if you took it home with you. But also, like, having your own tie and then just putting it in the washing machine or something.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, I don't know. I didn't get that. I have one more. Do you have any more?
Nope.
You're done? Okay. All right, my last thing is another, I feel like, it's a Trudy inconsistency. I don't know if people are following this one, but I feel like at separate times, Monk has said, like, oh, I wasn't with Trudy when she died. She suffered for, like, 20 minutes or something alone. And then he also says at a different part, like, I held her hands when she was dying.
Oh my God.
And then another part where he says, like, the last thing she saw was the bee on the wall, which was in this episode. And then there's another episode where they say she dies at the hospital. Oh my God. I feel like there's just, like, a lot of inconsistencies. It's a hard one to follow, but I have to jot down things. And I'm like, that doesn't really make any sense. Like, how does she die at the hospital, but also that's the last thing that she saw? Like, she had to have closed her eyes there and then not open them again. It's, you know what I mean? Like, things could, like, technically fit, but they're just weird things. Like I said, Monk says, like, she was alone, but then I was with her. I didn't make it, but then I was there. But then she saw this here, but then she died here. So, yeah. I don't know. Maybe other people are following it. Maybe I'm the only one, but that is my final plot hole.
That was a good one.
How crazy was Monk this episode?
Plus crazy moments. Bam.
Okay. Out of 10, what?
Out of 10, Eileen Hill hot dogs.
Oh my gosh. I put out of 10 meat dogs.
Oh. She did a what's it called?
Air quotes.
Air quotes, yes.
Okay, well, my actual one, the one I really liked was, I hope you remember it, but it's out of 10 votes for imagination.
For the parking garage?
Yeah, correct. Because he's like, kids love parking garages. It's even better because they have to use their imagination. So let's vote for imagination. So I put out 10 votes for imagination. I'm pretty proud of that one, not gonna lie. Okay, so crazy moments. Here we go. He's scared of the hot dog, like the vendors and everything. He chained himself up, for one. Also, whenever he's hanging up missing persons posters, and Natalie's like, how many of these have you hung up? Because he's taking, like, forever. And he's like, out of 1,000, this is my first one. So terrible. Also, the Monk flirt which we heard, and he keeps winking, like winking. And then, of course, you know, he picks up the trinkets, like, after he pushes them off the desk, like we were talking about.
Oh, really?
When he's picking them back up.
Aww.
So he does pick them up. He just doesn't do it, like, soon enough, you know. It was his pleasure. Whenever he's talking to the hot dog guy, it's like, it's our pleasure, with air quotes. And he keeps saying, it was such a pleasure. He's like, yeah, I get it. Like, he can't handle Maria eating the hot dog. That was excruciating, too.
That's not that crazy.
That was pretty gross. Kids love ramps. Parking garages have ramps. Kids love ramps. That reminds me of the Birds and the Bees, where he says, like, kids respect janitors or something. I ever talked to the janitor? No, is it a super or whatever? Who was it? Landlords.
Oh, yeah.
Landlords. Kids respect landlords. At the end, whenever he gets his vote, and like the one that he gets in his favor, he slides down the banister at the city hall. He's like, wee! And he slides down the banister. And then at the end, he's like so happy. And he's like, all right, guys, I'm offering handshakes. No wipe handshakes. What? Is he crazy? All right, here we go. And he shakes the guy's hand, and then Natalie gives him a wipe. He's the wipe. Oh, so good. Okay, out of 10, I'm not going to say yours. This is bad.
Said Eileen Hill hot dogs.
Yeah. What'd you give him?
6 out of 10.
Okay. All right.
6.5.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're doing like a half a hot dog like me? Or do you like just a half the hot dog? Okay, I can see that. Okay. Out of 10 votes for imagination, I gave him a 5.
Wow.
Yeah. I thought the flirting was pretty kooky. That was pretty hilarious. And then that part, what does he say? Like, I was just waiting for her to leave so he could be alone or something. I don't know what she said. It's too funny.
He said, she was like, why did you ask if she was here? So she wouldn't get jealous.
Yeah, so she wouldn't get jealous. Oh, kids love ramps. Okay, all right. Final segment.
Rate this episode. Kandyce, what would you rate this episode?
Okay, not the best season finale, but definitely not the worst.
I agree.
There was no big, like, 2-part or cliffhanger like on The Run, but it still had Trudy's storyline, which we rarely get, so kudos for that for sure.
Agreed.
I personally could have lived without the park. I don't mind having the parking garage there, but I feel like it was supposed to be so that Monk is moving on / has to move on, so I guess that's good for character development. I actually really love the complicated crime with the councilwoman and the pregnant pea and the dolt and all of that. It was very intricate. I really liked that. This episode wasn't too shabby. I'm going to go with a 10.85.
That's good. I gave it a 9.5 out of 10.
9.5? Really? Why?
Well, I figured you were gonna rate it low, and it didn't deserve a 9.5, but I figured you would rate it low.
So what do you really think it deserves? You're cracking me up right now.
Maybe an 8.75 or something like that. 8.75 to a 9. Well, I was just gonna...
What? I don't even understand this logic. Wait, so you just think, okay, she's gonna rate it low, so you just go higher? Like,
I don't think you would actually rate it like an 8.5. I thought you were gonna rate it like a 7.
Why? Why would you think I'd rate it a 7? What was bad about it? You're a rational
human being. And this episode was trash. I rated it a 4 out of 10.
I'm so confused. So, I don't even know what to ask. Why... So you're rating it a 9.5, yet you think it deserves like an 8.75. So explain.
That way it earns a 9. Because you rated it a what, 8.5?
Yeah.
So then it'll even out to a 9. God.
You just guessed I was going to rate it low. Your answers literally make no sense.
I'm a psychic medium.
They call me Alison Dubois. So I'm a psychic medium.
Sean
Spencer.
Gussick.
Sean Gussick. That's That's good product placement right there. We remembered her handle. Okay. Yeah, I put in parentheses, I think I should have rated The Magician a 9.
It was a tad bit better than this. A tad.
Oh, you think it was better than this? You think The Magician was better than this?
I'm gonna regret saying that. I'm gonna regret.
Because you rated The Magician low.
Low, yeah. It was just.
Okay, guys, this rating system is. I'm glad that it's over. This season is officially over.
What? What do you mean?
The season is over.
Okay, but the rating system isn't.
No, I'm saying for this season, because this has been so hard to fit every single next episode into
we're starting fresh.
Yes, we're about to start fresh.
And they better be good episodes.
Because it's the end. So, well, we're not quite there yet. We're going to do our season 7 wrap up next week. Which I love because we get to go over our rankings and see how bad we messed this up.
I agree.
I think it is so much fun. Hopefully you guys will join us next time. And we also have some junk that I have been really excited to eat. I'm actually really
forgot about that.
Yeah, we will see you guys next time. Let us know. Let's see. Well, I guess we'll say that on our wrap up. But I was gonna say, let us know your season rankings. We would love to hear your season rankings no matter what time it is. We like comparing it. We like seeing how wrong we are or whatever. So, because me and Noah disagree, but we don't really disagree that much. You know what I mean? Like usually we're on the same page at least.
We can convince each other a lot of the time. Yeah.
Well, that's true, but also usually rarely do we have I rated this a 4 and you rated it an 8. Yeah. It's rarely like that. They're pretty close.
Actually, sometimes I do that.
Well, sometimes you do that to tank it because you manipulate the system.
I do it.
Which is why I'm saying...
I'm so proud of myself for manipulating the system so well.
That's why I'm glad that this is over. That this season is over so that we can start fresh
and manipulate some more.
Noah's ready to manipulate season 8.
This isn't even our countdown. This is my countdown.
Noah thinks this is all about him, even though I rate consistently. So not fair. All right, guys. We'll see you next week for our season 7 wrap up. We haven't done applause in a long time. That was good.
I know. Thank you.
That was not applause. All right, guys. We'll see ya.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Junk Monk Podcast. We'd love to hear from you, so please give us a 5-star review wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, follow us at Junk Monk Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
If you want to know more about Kandyce, she's at Hardens and Hardhats on Instagram. And if you want to know more about me, Noah L., subscribe to my vlog, Noah Hernandez, on YouTube. Also, you can leave us a voicemail at 323-366-0477 with your questions, comments, or just to show us some love.
Don't forget to catch up on Monk with Amazon Prime Video, and of course, subscribe to our show.
You'll thank me later.